Okay, once again, this is Jeff from Shrike Farm. Here we are at the Institute for Grape Technology, and we're going to talk to you today about growing some grapes. Maybe in your backyard, maybe out on the farm, maybe wherever. First of all, let's talk about planting the grapes. When do you plant the grapes? Well, in the spring, just as soon as after the first frost, as soon as you can. From my experience, I've been growing grapes on and off for probably 10 years, and there just doesn't seem to be a perfect timing. Better early than late during the summer. That's the first rule. Second rule, there's a debate about how much water they need. I've had times where they've had kept them medium watered, and then I've had times where I've just about flooded them, and it has a lot to do with direct sunlight as much as anything. You don't want the roots to rot. At the same time, you want the plant to grab all the moisture and nutrients it needs. So keep them fairly wet, probably water them pretty good every other day, and that'd probably be a happy medium. Third thing, when you plant a vine, I'm going to use this Sharpie as an example. It's a silly thing, but you plant the vine in the ground, and the plant will kind of sit there. If the plant doesn't have an arbor to grow onto right away, it won't grow. And why that is with vines like grapes, I don't know. But let's say this is the arbor. The plant will come out and it'll touch the sunlight, and for some reason, I don't know why, will immediately, it'll travel towards the arbor and go around it and go up. So that means you do not plant the plant first and hope to have the arbor later when you get enough plant to work with. You put the arbor in place first, prep the ground first, then you put the plants in. Now, that being said, let's talk a little bit about arbors. I want you to imagine this is the ground. These are like metal T-posts, and these are like a taut cable. There's an anchor into the ground, a deep post on either side. This is, and the posts are roughly 8 foot apart. This is how you see a lot of grapevines in America. And it's kind of a silly thing because this type of setup is kind of fraught with problems. They plant the plant here, you have to get the plant to hit to the first cable, and then you have to train when the cane gets solid enough, and you'll get a line going off each side, you train the next line up, and then you got to train this way, and it's kind of a situation that's fraught with problems, and I'll show it outside. Now, what I did, I was overseas as a contractor, and I saw some interesting ways of doing things in Kosovo and out and about, and they don't do it this way. We only do it this way. And this is a very time-consuming way, and it's not real efficient. So this is kind of a version of what they do, and I modified it for us because of these T-posts. I didn't see them using any standard T-posts like we use in farming in this area. So here's what I did, and in video 2 it'll give you a better example because you'll get to see the vine. You pound a couple T-posts in approximately 8 foot apart. You put some kind of cross member on them. Maybe you take a piece of angle iron and weld it to a pipe and then fit it over the T-post or whatever. And then, once again, imagine these posts are 8 foot apart. You run an arbor, a piece of welded fence or something, across the top between these two posts. You plant the grapes at the base of the posts, and the grapes will grow up the post and towards each other. Now, the beauty of this is the #1 predator that we have in North America for this area that I've seen for these plants is bunnies. Bunnies chew on the root, on the cane. So this is what you can do. In the fall of the year, before the bunnies get really active, you can wrap this in chicken wire. Real easy. You wrap it in chicken wire. Real easy. Now, this is growing. Do not let the plant push fruit, which means when you see a little bundle of grapes for your first year, 2 years, pinch it off. Do not let the plant push fruit. The first 2 years, the roots are growing down, the top is growing up. You want the plant's total focus to be on growth, not pushing fruit. The urge of most new people is, oh yay, it got fruit. Hey, you're screwing yourself. Stop it. Don't let the plant push fruit for the first couple years. It's growing down, it's growing up, you prune it back. Next year, it's growing up, it's growing down deeper. The deeper the roots go, the less you have to worry about watering. And we know that's an issue. All right? So, now, you're at your second year. The plant is up, it's healthy, it's big, it's beautiful. It starts producing fruit, and you're letting it produce fruit this time. Now, these plants, if you let it produce too much fruit, the fruit will be underdeveloped and won't be so good. If you limit the amount of production to what you think will fill a 5-gallon bucket, basically, per plant, that's about all that plant normally produces that I've seen anyways. So, you cull off some of the undeveloped fruit pods and the stuff where you don't want it to be happening. And now you've got this fruit hanging there. Now the next reason for this is just about my chest height. And you'll see it in video 2. This arbor right here is real easy to wrap in bird netting. This one here, you have to try to wrap it in chicken wire, and then you have to pray that you can wrap each one individually in bird netting, and there's lots of bending over, and there's lots of hate and discontent, and there's lots of people that give up at that point. But don't. Once you have this setup, after the 3rd or 4th year, you're going to trim it back every January or February to how you want it to grow. All it's going to take is a little bit of maintenance and watering, wrap it in bird net when the fruit starts coming in, and you're going to have a very trouble-free system. And you won't have back-breaking work. You'll have a good, solid crop of grapes every fall. So, with that, I hope this is enlightening. Like I said, T-posts pounded into the ground with about 5 foot. If you get the extra long ones, that's great. On top of the T-posts, the reason why they call them T-posts is they look kind of like this in the ground. There's a T part and a part that comes out. If you put a pipe down the T-post and weld a cross member onto that, then you'll have some place to wire the piece of trellis. And that might be wood, or that might be a welded wire fence, or that might be anything stretched between the two. But basically, once the initial work gets done, this is a very efficient way of growing your grapes. Now, here's the other good news. Every once in a while, you'll have a little leader come off on the bottom that you might want to clip off. Well, once you've got this established, that little leader comes out, you dig a hole right here, you bury that little leader in the hole so that it can sit there for the whole summer with a root structure. And then you let it go over the winter, and in the springtime, when all this bursts into life again, you cut this off. And you've got a nice new little plant to plant your next set of vineyards, your next set of grape arbors, and that's how you keep going. You can do clippings, and you can make the little roots grow in the glass on the shelf. I've never had much luck with that, but I know I've done it before. That's all well and good. This way, the earth does it. This way, it does it on its own. Water, sunshine, you dig a hole, you run the vine in it with the vine sticking part way out, you let it go that way for a few months, if not a year, and then you cut that off, and you've got a nice plant to replant right there. So have fun with your gardening, have fun with your grapes, watch video 2, and that will show you what the arbor looks like for real. You have a great day. Thank you for coming to Shrike Farm, the YouTube channel, or shrikefarm.com, and I look forward to talking to you in the future. Have a great day.